Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Basically this is the AWS Zero to Master series and we are focusing on the AWS cloud and services on this playlist. If you can remember in the previous session we learned about that AWS snapshot. Along with that we have been discussed more on that how we can create the snapshot and how we can create a volume using the existing snapshot and the encryption. So followed by in the today's session, we are going to discuss about the AWS on perspective how we can copy the snapshot from one region to another region. Along with that, how we can create a volume using those snapshot. So that apart from that, we will discuss about that what are the storage tier available on the AWS snapshot and how we can optimize the cost in that AWS. So we will discuss more on this topic today. So let us start. So basically, we'll take on one example. In case if any of the EC2 instance running on the one region, you should be copy those data into the another region. The easiest way what we can do, we can create a snapshot and we can move it that snapshot to that another region. The process will be come into that for example, if you can see, I have one of the EC2 instance. Those EC2 instance have been one of that EBS volume running on that EC2 instance. So basically, I have been created on this instance in the TUS list one. So basically, in case if I need to be copy these EBS volume to the AP South one or some other region, the easiest way AWS providing, we can copy the snapshot using that first we need to be create a snapshot using that existing EC2 instance or volume. So by default, it will be create a snapshot on the particular region, such as US East one. So what we need to be do, we need to be copy the snapshot to AP South one. So basically, what will happen? It will be copy the snapshot of the data to the respective region. So, and one more point we need to be noticed, like when we are copying the snapshot to the another region, in case if we have been enabled that any kind of encryption on the EBS volume level, we need to be share those EBS encryption key also along with that snapshot, so that only they can create a volume and they can decrypt that data into that their region. So this way we can move that snapshot to the another region. Then using the snapshot, we can create a volume in the respective region and we can use it. So if you are not aware of that, how we can create a snapshot and how we can create a volume using the snapshot, you can just look into my previous video. You should be get more idea on that. So so basically, when we are creating the EBS snapshot, AWS will be charged you some amount for that AWS snapshot creation. So we need to be consider those scenario and we need to be overcome that the way how we can optimize the cost. So AWS providing that one of the option called that EBS snapshot archive. So using that we can reduce some of the cost. So we will see that what is the limitation and how we can optimize the cost in that one by one. So basically, EBS snapshot archive means nothing but it will be useful if you are going to be used the long-term storage, but those data will be in that infrequent access method. We can go with that EBS snapshot archive. So like basically by default, when you are creating the snapshot, it will be stored into that a standard tier. If we need to be move the snapshot to that archive, we need to be create a separate storage policy so that only we can move it. So like in case if you can move those data into that infrequent, that means that a snapshot archive, again if you need to be restore it, first you need to be move those data into that standard tier, when then only we can create a volume using that snapshot. So that is the one of the things we need to be know check it. So along with that, this cost, basically AWS considering around 75% of the cheaper comparing the standard tier. So the one more limitation is that I explained that this will be helpful for that infrequent access. So minimum we need to be maintain the data for the 90 days. That should be in that more than that also. Those data should be in that infrequent, rarely accessed data. So that is the way only we need to be planned. So on the another one more point, as I mentioned that whenever we need to be restore the data from that archive, it will take up to 72 hours to restore the snap into a volume. So we need to be sure about that. It depends on the size. So basically, that AWS fast snapshot restore is nothing but we can restore our snapshot in very fastest way, without IO latency. So basically, they are charging some kind of higher cost comparing that standard tier. So due to that, by default, it will be disabled. If you need to be enabled that fast snapshot restore, we should be enabled or with the respective availability zone. So based on that only, it will be enabled. So basically, when you need a snapshot, in case if you need a snapshot that should be restored in a higher fastest way, you can go with that. Fast snapshot restore, but it will be more costly comparing that other storage. So these all are the basics reference I have been taken on the AWS console. I'll share it on the comment section. Maybe you should you can check it if you need a more clarity on that. I'm quickly opening that console. So basically, if you can see, I have one of the EC2 instance running on the AWS. So on the EC2 instance, you can see I have a two volume running. First one is that 8 GB and another one is 2 GB. So if you can see the volume these two volume is not encrypted. I just created without encryption. So if you need to be know more about that encryption, you can look into my that earlier videos. You should be get the ideas on that. So basically, when we are creating the snapshot, either we can create using this, otherwise we can create a snapshot here also. So I'm just going to be create a snapshot using the snapshot. So first, instead of instance, as I mentioned, if you are selecting the instance, it will be take all the volumes as a snapshot on the particular instance. So if you need to be know more idea about that snapshot, how we can create a snapshot, I have been uploaded in the previous session. You can just look on this. So I'm just creating a snapshot with the volume. I'll just check that volume first. So I'll take the minimum. So the B5. So basically, I'll just create a snapshot from here itself. It will be maybe easily you can find. So I'm just creating a volume with the snapshot. So first snap, so not encrypted. So tag I'm not giving anything. So just to create a snapshot. So you can see I have one of the snapshot running on that North Virginia. Now first we will see how we can copy this snapshot to the another region. Then we will see about that what is the lifecycle manager and how we can enable that storage tier and the fast snapshot restore in the upcoming next one by one. So first I'll just try to move copy this snapshot to the another region. So to do that, basically it's running on that North Virginia US East one, if you can see. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be copy this snapshot to the Asia Pacific Mumbai. So if I'm opening that respective region, you can see right now I don't have any snapshot. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be move it. So to move the snapshot to one region to another, so that is a straightforward we can do it. So just to click on that respective snapshot and go to that action. Here you can see one of the option called copy snapshot. So when you are selecting that copy snapshot, so basically description you can take it whatever you want. Otherwise we can put it our own description also. Now from this one. So basically destination region, I'm going to be use it like a AP South one. So it is like a straightforward as similar like that AMI. When we had a chance to discuss about the AMI, I just explained you how we can move the AMI to one region to another region. The same way we can move that. So another one more point, as I mentioned, this snapshot has been created without encryption. If you need to be encrypt, you can just encrypt this snapshot so that you need to be choose the like uh, KMS key. So automatically it will be encrypt and it will be shared to that respective respective region. It should be shared those keys for the reference purpose. So basically, I'm not going to be encrypt. I'm just uncheck this encryption. So just to copy this snapshot. So basically, it was triggered. If I can go to that respective Mumbai region, this is the AP South one. So I'm trying to refresh. Yeah, now you can see I have one of the Snapchat has been like copied from the US to Mumbai. So you can see it was not encrypted. So here, like if you need, you can just create a volume using the Snapchat. Just click on that volume and create a volume using the Snapchat. So just create and 2 GB, like whatever you want, you can just change it. And the availability zone also you can change it. If you record, you can encrypt here also, not an issue. So I'm just selecting the encryption here to create a volume. So these entire that how we can create a volume using the snapshot and how we can create a snapshot in the AWS console. I have been taken on the previous session. You can just look into those videos if you need a more clarity. Now you can see I have created those volume like a volume using that snapshot which is copied from that another region. If you can see, basically I have been created the volume with the same size, but that encryption only I have been taken. So if you can see, this volume has been encrypted, but the source volume it's not been encrypted. So if you can see the both volume, if you can see not encrypted. So this is the way we can copy our EBS snapshot to one region or to another region, so that all the data will be copied to the destination. We can attach straight away. Another one more concept, if you need to be copy the snapshot to the another like account, not a region. If you need to be copy that snapshot to another account, you can just click on the snapshot and go to that snapshot setting and modify permission. So here basically what we can do, we can add account details. That means the account ID when you are selecting that your account details, it should become that account ID. So there you can put that account details and just to give it that modify permission. So basically we can enable that public and private also. So if you are doing this way, it will be copy the data. So this is the way we can copy our AWS snapshot from one region to another region. So apart from that, today we're going to discuss about that Snapshot Archive as well as that lifecycle manager. Along with that, we'll see if we have any kind of snapshot with a high amount of data when we are going to be retrieve those snapshot. Like we need to be bypass that IO issue and it should be like retrieve a little high speed. So we can configure that faster retrieval option so that we can just get those snapshot in a little faster way comparing that standard. So the cost also will be differ comparing that standard. So to configure the faster retrieval option, just to click on that particular snapshot, whichever you want to be retrieve that faster way. Just to go to that action and on the snapshot setting, you can see one of the option called that manage snapshot first snapshot restore. If you can click on that first snapshot restore, you can get that the option where we need to be like what are the regions we need to be required for this snapshot. So based on that only we can retrieve that particular. So by default it will be disabled as I mentioned. If you need, you just need to be enable that required region and just click on that enable. So basically, this is the way we can enable and disable that like a fast retrieval option. It will be help us to like retrieve our data without like IO latency operation. So basically, we can get it some more like a speed, but it will be like enabled on the availability zone based on that. So that's all about that fast retrieving. In case if you need a more clarity on that fast retrieving, just feel free to leave a comment. I'll just take you off. Right now, I'm not going to be enable this option. So, and one more point, as I mentioned that like a snapshot archive is the one of the option, like where in case if you can see, I have one of the snapshot. So basically this is I'm like accessing in a very infrequent way. So unnecessarily like AWS charging this snapshot. So instead of that, like what I can do, I can move this snapshot into the archive way so that the my cost will be little bit cheaper comparing that standard. So basically to archive that snapshot to move the snapshot into that archive, just click on the archive and then go to that action. Here you can see that archiving. So here basically by default it will be disabled. You need to be like archive this snapshot. Once you are clicking the archive, this snapshot will be archive and it will be moved into that archive tire. So whenever you need to be recover this snapshot and need to be create a volume, you need to be first move the archive snapshot to your local standard snapshot standard tire. Then only you can create a like a volume using the snapshot. But the thing is, like, it will take up to 72 hours, as I mentioned. So be sure about that. In case if it is any kind of critical environment, you should be like retrieve the data within some kind of higher speed. It will not help us. So this will be help us only the infrequent data with if you need a lower kind of cost. I'm not going to be archive this data because since this is the lab, but like this is the way only we can enable. So once after enabled, you can manage that archiving details here, change the restore period as well as that. If you need to be restored from that archive, you can click on that archive from restore from the archive. It will be moved to the standard, then you can restore it. So apart from that, another one of the important concept we need to be know about the lifecycle manager when you started working. Basically, it will be help us to automate that the task of the TA snapshot for the volume as well as the TAM using that lifecycle manager. Here, basically, we can create a rules using that rule. We can that will be like automatically by default it will be running. So basically, if you can see, there are two type of policies there. First one is that custom, and the second one is that they are providing the policy type. They are providing for the multiple type. First one for the snapshot and the AMA also we can do it as the automated way. Apart from that, the cross account event also there. Now we are going to be see about that snapshot policy. So just to click on the next step. So you can see we can select it the two kind of snapshot policy. First one is that volume and second one is that instance. I'm going to be select the instance at this moment. To select the resources, we can select it straightforward here. Based on the tag only, it will be retrieve the data. So for example, I'll just take a separate console. So if you can see, I have one of the EC2 instance running on the AWS North Virginia. So if I'm just opening that EC2 instance, yeah, here you can see the tag. I have been tagged under the environment protection. So when I'm just creating life cycle policy for that instance. So I need to be tagged based on the tag, which one I need to be take that. Example, I'm just tagging that environment as the protection. So basically, what will happen? This will like validate with whatever the instance tagged under that environment protection. This will be like it taken and whatever the volumes available on the inside that whatever the inside the EC2. So those EC2 volume will be considered as the resources under this policy. So basically, I'm just giving that description for the protection snap. Basically, this will be like required for that some kind of IAM role. So this I'll just explain you more on that once we started to see in that IAM. Here, these all of the default policy we need to be enabled for that IAM and we need to be attached. If you require, you can choose that custom policy also not an issue. So tag for this particular policy, we can create a some tag. I'm not going to be create. And the policy status basically so policy status means nothing but when you are creating a policy, whether it should be enabled by default or else we need to be activate manually. So that is the things it's asking. Like I'm just going to be like not enabled so that it will not trigger for my lab. And apart from that, we can exclude some of the volume also. If we don't want to be take a snapshot for the root volume, we can exclude that. Apart from that, yeah, some of the specific volume also. If we have any kind of tag separately tagged on that volume level, we can exclude those volume also. So I'm not going to be select this option. Click on the next. So basically, this is the schedule time we can create a rule when it should be triggered. Basically, I'm just creating a rule. We can select it whether it should be running on the daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and apart from that, at what time it should be run. Every 12 hours or every 10 hours it should be assigned. If you are selecting the 12 hours with like a starting time 9 minutes, so like every 12 hours that 9 a.m. like that UTC, it will be like automatically trigger the snapshot. Apart from that, the rotation type is nothing but like how many snapshot it should be retained on the like snapshot standard type. For example, like if I'm click on the count, if I'm keeping that 10 count, by default it will be like store that keep the 10 snapshot by default, and like again it will be first in first out, like that way it will be remove that snapshot. So I'm just keeping that age. Basically, I can give it that 90 days or 30 days. What will happen after that? 30 days, it will be automatically like expired and it will be removed from the standard tire. So apart from that, these are the advanced setting we can create, copy the tags from the source, and some script we can run it. So I'm not going to be do it on this at this moment. I'm just to review the policy, and I'm just creating a policy. So basically, I have been created a policy. So using the policy, like we can enable the policy. Once we enabled, automatically what will happen? It will be started to create a snapshot based on the every 12 hours starting from 9 UTC. So this time it will be automatically trigger. We don't want to be manually trigger this option. The thing is, it will be trigger only for the resources which has been created under the tag we have been selected on the creation time. So that's all about the basics introduction of that EBS snapshot and how we can enable the snapshot in a lifecycle manager. So if you have still any question or any doubts related that snapshot tire and archiving or else that lifecycle manager, just feel free to leave a comment. I'll just take you up on that upcoming session. So that's all about the today's session. So if you are enjoying my video, please do subscribe and like my video so that it will encourage me to do more videos like that. So once again, thanks for watching my channel. We'll see you in the upcoming session.